You know, if you're a parent and you want your kids to have a healthy self-esteem, maybe be less aggressive, really think that that family bond is important, it all comes down to your positivity as a parent. My next guest here knows a lot about that. This is Patel. She's an educational psychologist, a parenting expert, and author of a couple really helpful books on positive parenting. Thanks so much for coming in, Rena. We really appreciate your time. We're talking a little bit about some of the wonderful things you have on here and some of the great messages to send to our kids. And you brought your two books with you here as well. Tell us a little bit about some of the tips for parents, because it all comes down to the parent, positive thinking, and we need to relax a little bit. As a parent of a 7, 6, and 3-year-old, I can not find enough time for myself to do that, and you say that that's pretty important.
That should be a priority, and I often tell parents to give themselves permission to do that.
Okay.
That's one of the tips in my ways to parent positively.
Is that just going into another room, or is that like just finding time to get away from the kids?
Yeah, finding time for yourself. Realistically, as a parent, I know that's hard.
Right.
As a parent myself, trying to find ways within your everyday activities. And one of the tips that I had brought along is, you and I were talking, is aromas. Aromas, their sense keeps us in the moment, keeps us present.
Sure.
And
even if you just sneak away for a little bit.
For a little bit. This is for the shower. Yeah.
Calm you down a little bit.
Candles, journaling right before you go to bed. Positive parenting pretty much is a parenting style with love and guidance, teaching our kids acceptable and appropriate behaviors with positive ways that are more effective.
One of the tips I thought was interesting: kids are more likely to misbehave if they're bored. You got to keep them busy. You got to keep them active, right?
Exactly. That's one of the prime examples I use is when you're on the phone. Isn't that the first way they kind of, mommy, daddy, I need you, I need you.
Yeah.
And so they're craving that attention. And having crafts ready, like right here, the unicorn and the robot, especially for our younger kids, putting them in a shoebox or a bin, having them pre-made and having the materials right there gives them something to look forward to. And then when you've got that busy phone call, or if you're prepping for dinner, just take that box out, have that model there, have the materials ready, and they're engaged.
And you talk about setting limits for your child's behavior as well. Can you explain more about that?
Yes, especially for our teens and our preteens. We see them online a lot, established family rules.
Right.
One of my challenges with that is rules need to be concise and predictable with set consequences. So I always recommend developing these rules together as a family, letting your children help decide some of these rules. Instead of saying be respectful, let's be more specific and saying, let's talk politely with your siblings. Let's hang up your clothes in your room.
Punishment. Punishing a child not effective as using praise, right, and positive words. There's been much discussion on spanking and other forms of physical discipline.
Right.
Your thoughts on all of that?
So punishment over time is not effective. It's research supported. And so positive praise and reinforcement works better over time. And positive parenting really takes that approach, and showing our kids, finding those moments to catch them when they're making good choices is more effective than punitive discipline.
And how you explain that too, we brought this board here, it's all about how we discuss, how we talk, and the words we use with them.
Right. As parents, everything gets so busy, and so we need visual reminders sometimes. And one of the things I like to do is hanging this in your house or somewhere in your bedroom to ask yourself, did I do these 3 things today for my children? Did I comment on did I like something that they did specifically when we give praises versus just saying good job? Say, I like the way that you were sharing with your brother. I see that you're working really hard with your homework, or I hear at school that you've had a really good day.
Yeah.
Is more effective than general praises.
Keep it positive. And
Yes.
I also, one of the other things I like that you mentioned is make sure that you hold their hands, right? They love that physical love you can show them, because before you know it, that hand's going to be a lot bigger.
Sure.
Right? They won't be there. So where can people get a look at your books and learn more information?
So I'm also a children's book author, and one of the things that I focus on is my overall philosophy of kindness and compassion and wellness. And so 2 of my books, which are available on Amazon and on my website, Winnie and Her Worries talks about helping kids deal with everyday stress and worries that they deal with, challenges. And My Friend Max is a book about talking about kindness, compassion, and being inclusive. Everyone's different, and how do we make sure to include and make friends with everyone in our society.
Some great tips, great information, great guidance. Rena, thanks so much for coming in. We always appreciate your time.
Nice to meet you.